Friends, today I am going to explain the logging 10,000 years into the future. Seeing his comrade die before his eyes, Marshal Saint could not suppress his anger, and he got ready to fight RMC to punish him for his insolence. The Marshal Saint, filled with anger, shows anger on his face for a few seconds, but then he stands up calmly again and starts looking at RMC. RMC also starts staring at him. And in the meantime, the Marshal Saint raises his hand and uses his blue sea sky ability on RMC. When he did this, there was no expression on his face, but when he raised his hand, a shining golden light first shone from around his body, and then after some time, water started flowing out from inside the sea and started rotating in front of his hands. It was as if a tornado of water was forming there. Seeing the Marshal Saint doing this, RMC gets very scared, and there is a surprised expression on his face, and a slight sweat of fear is also appearing on his face. He had come to know what it is. And by this time, the golden light made of water is moving around the Marshal Saint like a tornado. After creating his attack, the Marshal Saint calumny tells RMC that this level of power should be enough to kill you very easily. And when Liu Sheng hears this from the Marshal Saint, he simply grits his teeth in anger, because even he found this attack to be very powerful. The impact of this powerful attack can be felt by other people in the military, and the pressure was so much that some people even closed their eyes because of it. And when they see RMC still in front of this attack, some of them say that this power is very powerful. Then they tell RMC to run away from here and say that do not fight against Supreme Marshal Saint. He is more powerful than you. And here Marshal Saint is now fully ready to attack, and he combines the tornado that was forming behind him with his punch and gets ready to attack RMC and says that you have no place to run from here. And saying this, he throws that powerful punch towards RMC. When this powerful punch is coming to hit RMC, it looks like a golden dragon that has the power to destroy anything that comes in its path. Seeing the power of this powerful attack, RMC gets an idea that Zhao Jai is actually capable of gathering all types of cosmic energy floating between heaven and earth into his palm. So the power of his palm must have now reached extremely terrifying heights. The attack of this punch is coming from right in front of RMC, yet he is unable to move away from it. It was as if this punch has made it difficult for him to move. At this point, RMC was unable to determine how many stars the Marshal Saint has, as determining the strength of a Marshal Saint seemed to be completely impossible. This is the real power of a living Marshal Saint, which is affecting other people present there, and to save ourselves from this attack, RMC will have to use his own power as well. For this, he activates the Marshal Saint's skill by combining Divine Whale Dharma, Unparalleled State, Dharma of Killing, Warrior status altogether, and as soon as he activates it, he also attacks the Marshal Saint's incoming attack with a punch. As soon as both the attacks collide with each other, a huge explosion takes place, and it also created a void there. However, RMC is still struggling to destroy the attack. He was not able to resist it completely, and after some time, when the dust clears, he is seen injured. One of his hands has been completely destroyed. Due to being injured, he was falling down from the air, and along with his hands, his legs were also damaged. It seems that his whole body is completely injured. His hand is completely destroyed. When other people see this, they get very shocked and start shouting the name of RMC. Some people are completely shocked to see that this is the same Liu Sheng who had defeated the Eastern Emperor's general very easily. And now how did he die so easily at the hands of the Supreme Marshal Saint? Those who were on lower posts had understood that whoever is below the saint are all ants. And here RMC falls straight into the sea after getting injured, and he seemed unconscious at this time. And on the other hand, thinking that RMC is dead, Marshal Saint lands on the ground, and looking at the water says that everything is over, and on the other hand, all the military generals get very angry seeing this. However, they cannot express their anger in front of Marshal Saint, so they all just keep saying to each other that everything is over. The military's 100 years of hope, everything is over. Hong Fei, she also stands with them, and without wasting much time jumps into the sea, saying that Liu Sheng cannot die so easily. I will go inside the water and find him even if I have to find his dead body. Seeing him doing this, someone else says that the attack which Martial Saint has just done contained the mighty power of heaven and earth. Unless he has a body equal to that of a Martial Saint, he will be destroyed into ashes. As other people present, they were thinking, the same thought was in the mind of Martial Saint also. He starts leaving from here thinking that everything is over, so now he does not need to stay here. However, as soon as he turns back and starts leaving from here, he feels something behind him, and when he looks back, a wave of the sea has risen behind him. Seeing that huge wave of water, Martial Saint says that I am very surprised that you are still alive. And seeing Armek doing this, Martial Saint raises his hand, and with just the impact of his hand, he breaks this skill of RMC. And when that wave of water scatters here and there, Armek is seen inside it, whose one hand is still cut, and seeing him, a slight smile comes on Martial Saint's face. Other people also become very happy to see that Liu Sheng is still alive, and as soon as they see him, they immediately gather around him and get ready to save him. They were all thinking of getting Armek out of here quickly. Even if they had to risk their lives in front of the Martial Saint, they could at least fight the Martial Saint for some breath. Hong Fei also tells Armek that you are the only one who cannot die here. You are the only hope of the military. While Hong Fei was saying his point, RMC's hand falls on his shoulder, and seeing the determination of all of them, he tells them that there is no need for this, and as soon as he says his point, he immediately regenerates his hand again using his healing ability. As soon as other people see Armek fully recovered, a smile comes on their faces. Some of them ask about RMC's health, and some say how flexible his body is. Martial Saint is also impressed by this, because he too had not seen an interesting person like Armek for a long time. So he makes a proposal to RMC, where he asks Armek to accept him as his teacher, and in return he will protect Armek for 100 years and promote him to Martial Saint, and Armek killed his 4 powerful men who was known as 4 Elephant. And he also withstood one of the moves of Martial Saint, so it proves that Liu Sheng is very extraordinary. This proposal of Martial Saint shocks everyone that Martial Saint himself is recruiting Liu Sheng. Seeing Armek standing very quietly, Hong Fei thinks in his mind that what are you waiting for? Promise him right now, Liu Sheng. Zhao Jai will forgive you right now, so bowing your head for now is not a bad idea. All the people standing there were thinking that this proposal is very good for RMC, but on hearing this proposal Armek laughs, and then says that you want to recruit me with this little power of yours. Is this your 9th level full-strength saintly method power? As soon as other people hear this, their mouths are left open that instead of refusing, he has refused by insulting him. After this, Liu Sheng also raises his hand and starts activating a shining golden light, saying let me show you what the real power is, and when he does this, a tornado made of golden shine light just like Martial Saint's is created there, seeing which Martial Saint's eyes remain wide open. When Armek was creating the power of heaven and earth, his power was a little more powerful than the power of Martial Saint. Even though Armek was not able to resist the power of heaven and earth of Martial Saint, that move was weak enough to kill RMC, and the move that Liu Sheng is using right now was exactly like the move of Martial Saint. Maybe Armek has copied it. Martial Saint is very surprised to see Armek capturing the power of heaven and earth. He could not understand how he is able to use this power. This seemed absolutely impossible to him because Armek is still at level 8 and he cannot borrow the power of heaven and earth at this time. Seeing Martial Saint getting so scared, Armek smiles and says, "This thing is surprising you a lot that you could not kill me even with your killing move. That is why you are not able to understand anything. But if you want to know about it, then I will answer it mercifully. Strength always bows before strong force. I call it a power that can make even bricks fly. Friends, the video ends here. To see what is going to happen in the next video, you guys must subscribe to the channel. So guys, Daily Manhwas gave me a fake copyright strike, so fuck you Daily Manhwa.